Okay, it's 5:30. We'll go ahead and begin the March 5th, 2026 Redevelopment Commission meeting. We'll have a call to order to make sure we have a quorum. We'll start on my left with Mr. Hanna.
Mike Hanna, present.
Dave Cravens, present. Steve Denny, present.
Lisa Floyd, present.
Bruce Ring, present.
All right, we have a determination. We do have a quorum, so we can continue on. Has everybody reviewed the minutes for the December 2025 meeting? Are there any concerns, questions, or corrections that anybody feels needs to be made? Seeing none, I'd seek a motion to approve the December 2025 minutes.
Motion to approve the November special meeting minutes.
Motion's been made. I need a second.
Second.
With a second, all in favor of approving the December 2025 minutes, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, minutes have been approved. The next order of business, even though it's been in March, we're in March, we need to do election of officers for 2026. So do we have any nominations? We'll just go through president, vice president, and secretary. Do we have any nominations for the position of president for 2026?
I nominate Steve Denny as president for the year 2026.
Okay, there's been a motion, there's been a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, for vice president, I would like to make a motion and nominate Dave Cravens.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor for Dave Cravens being vice president signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And then last but not least, we have an opening for secretary. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Lisa Floyd. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed? Okay, so we got the board in place for 2026. Seeing that there's no old business, under new business, we have to begin with the Reedy Financial April report.
Hello, my name is Brady Rogers. I'm here with Reedy Financial Group to go over your April report. If you look at page 3 of 19 here, this is basically just listing out all of the reporting requirements that we have. So today we will be completing the one prior to April 1st for the annual report. And then we'll also have to make sure we get a copy of this into the town council before April 15th. And then once we're done with this, I will also make sure to get everything uploaded to Gateway for you guys. So basically, we're going to just go over all of the details of 2025 is what this report is. So next page, page 4, this just lists our members as well as local council and overlapping units. Page 5, this is going to be your TIP allocation areas. One thing I did want to mention is for the Serenity, the base assessment date is actually as of 1/1/2024. So I've already got that updated on my end, and when I upload it to Gateway, that will be corrected, but I just wanted to make a note of that because it does say 25 on this document. So these are all TIP areas and when they expire and when everything was signed in. Next page, this is a monthly update for Fund 2218. So this shows, beginning tax balance there. It's got the revenue for each month, capital outlays, debt payments, and other services and charges. Under financial plan, typically we have this also listed out for the following year, the projections. And then we do update it, monthly. So the green line there, most recently updated month, that's going to just be for December since this is year end of last year. So this just kind of gives you an idea. You can see when your revenues are coming in from the TIF. And you can see when the bond payments are being made under the debt payments and whatnot.
So we ended up with an extra 300,000 in the bank. The cash balance.
Yeah, surplus.
Beginning of the year to the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, if you go to page 7, this kind of has it broken out. So we list the beginning cash balance there. And then under the gray, where it's gray, total revenues, that takes into account reimbursements, rent revenues, and your TIF revenue collections. Below that, your expenditures, and we have those separated out between capital outlays, debt payments, and then your other services and charges for your total spending. Below that, you'll see your surplus or deficit. And then as well, below that, you'll see the year-end balance.
So is the 352, 262, is that included in the 1.7?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's just the difference between what you guys took in
Yeah.
and what you spent last year.
Okay, thank you.
Next page, this is the same thing, it's just for the tip savings fund, so really the only thing happening in there is your interest. The next page here, this is your indebtedness, so these are any outstanding bond. This shows the final maturity date, it shows the outstanding balance as of 1/1 of 25. It shows the amount expected to be paid, and then the amount that was actually paid in 2025. And if you look at the lease rental revenue bonds, I believe the difference between that one is just the timing of the payments is why there's a difference. And then after that, we just have the parcel list for the different TIF areas that you guys have. So they should be color coordinated with that page 4. So if it's green at the top, then there's the blue for the Pendleton expansion. And then the Serenity is yellow, and Pendleton Falls Point is the orange one, so
And this is after equalization.
after
If
neutralization.
we do neutralization, we do that every year.
Yes, we will do that again this year. That is all that I have for you guys. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm just curious, the gross assessed value that they've gone through, the assessor's office has gone through, and reassessed properties and raised property taxes and also commercial property. Do these get updated and will that increase our TIF funds or revenue?
Yeah, so once we go through every year, the AVs do get looked at and we go through the neutralization process like he was mentioning. And the AV, if there's any additional increments, so if you see the incremental AV, if that number goes up, then the total goes up, which then increases the revenue.
How much did we go up in 25?
I don't have that in front of me. I'd have to look at the financial plan to get the exact number.
And then, if I can we get this digitally, because we'd like to load it, the parcel numbers in the GIS so we can graphically see. So,
You just need the parcel lists or? the
yeah,
whole-
if I could get this digitally,
Yeah.
then we'll download it into GIS and it'll create a map for us.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So you just want a parcel list with all of the different,
Yeah, I think if they would, I mean, broken out, that way we can color code what area it is, then, I don't think we do have a map of the TIF areas that we feel comfortable knowing they're right.
yeah, and it's nice having it on GIS, you know, you can just see
Okay.
everything there, so I think that's a great idea. I'll make sure to get you a copy of that.
I think this year would be important since they've increased those assets, but also they're changing the tax rate.
Yep.
At Senate Bill 1,
Yep,
and that would be able to help us do better projected, revenue for our TIF funds. Am
absolutely.
I thinking right there?
Yeah.
Yep, in fact, thank you for asking that. So, how, the dust hasn't settled enough since,
We don't have.
do you know when you'll be able to tell us when
Apparently, these tax rates, yeah.
TIF revenue?
I would say probably in the next month, we should have a better idea,
Okay.
but at this point, we're kind of still waiting.
Be waiting on when we release the tax rates, I
Yeah.
guess, which would be what, next 2 or 3 weeks?
Probably.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Under the blue section, I'm just trying to, is this all the properties that are in the TIF area or just all the properties in the town limits?
Within the Pendleton expansion, the area.
Okay.
Those are properties that if we pull the allocated, we pull those $6 from.
Got you. Period.
Yeah.
The whole town is our.
Economic development
Economic development.
area.
That's where you can spend it. So the whole town is where we can spend.
Yep. In the allocation area is where you get the tip from the incremental AV.
Are the properties that are tax exempt, at least on, that don't pay property income or taxes for whatever reason, are they on this list too? As an
Yeah,
assessed value?
you would just see the incremental AV if it goes to the zero.
So we would tell them or projected revenue.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll make sure, like I said, I can get everything uploaded for you guys on Gateway. We just have to make sure that a copy gets sent to them. They don't need a presentation or anything, just a copy provided.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the new business is introduction of the ATL project right away.
Good evening. Well, thank you, Brady, so much for coming, making a trip and putting this all together and keeping us in compliance. So I appreciate it. It's outlining really well. Good information. Okay, have for you tonight, new business, the added travel lane project right-of-way conveyance. Tonight, we're going to share and introduce to you a potential right-of-way acquisition project. It's affiliated with our added travel lanes project that we've had going on here for the last, probably 5 years. This is a project that is led by NDOT. This is roadway improvement within the corridor of State Road 67 that runs all the way from to the south at Angle Road, all the way up north to Water Street. Then also there's going to be improvement to the roadway and also sidewalks and crosswalks and connectivity from State Road 67 on US 36 all the way to 300 West, and then likewise parallel 67 all the way to 300 West on State Road 38. So, and then a little bit even too on the west side of State Street there, just west of 67. So a part of this project, the town a few years back, we made a great decision to be able to piggyback onto this project. This will provide additional enhancements that was not going to be provided in this project. It was going to be including some additional lighting within the area, sidewalk improvement, trail connectivity, some landscaping, as well as median work there. That was very important to the town in creating some safe traffic, for our vehicular traffic, but also our pedestrian traffic. So for this particular project, we wanted to share about this additional trail connectivity project that the town has been working on to provide some pedestrian facilities, which includes a 10-foot path that will run from State Road 67. We're going to show it here on the map here in a few. And then it will kind of connect into, and the goal is to connect into Hayden Way, which will then connect to Water Street. So Stephanie, if you want to go ahead and pull this map up, kind of illustrate here. So that intersection that you see is at US 36 there, where it ties into State Road 67, there in the blue. But then right there highlighted in the yellow, this trail, which would be a 10-foot path, asphalt path, is envisioned to be able to go in through this particular parcel that is undeveloped parcel. Want to note too that it is highly much of a wetland in that particular parcel, as well as if it's not in wetland, it is highly saturated ground right there. But the trail would run through that parcel. And Stephanie, I'm going to grab this. Yep, with you here. There's 3 particular parcels that we're going to kind of talk and share about tonight. This is parcel 1 here. Then this particular large parcel here that's outlined here, it's parcel 2, and then this is parcel 3 here that then connects up here to Water Street. So this trail, this 10-foot path, would then provide connectivity for pedestrian traffic to then be able to come through this property to travel up here on the west side of Hayden Way up to Water Street, and then would connect into our sidewalk system there. This particular project and tonight's purposes, we are just solely introducing this project for you tonight. In the event that RDC is able and interested in supporting this project. We are not asking you tonight to make a decision. We're not asking you to make a vote on this particular project. And 2, we want to note that we are still gathering additional information. The full scope of this project is still a little bit under review. But as there is a potential that all or a portion of this right-of-way acquisition for the future trail project could be eligible for RDC consideration, we as staff, we're working with Dinsmore, Dan O'Neill, he is online here as well, if you have any questions. But we are going to continue working with him and confirming that there is, if there is additional information that they need, as well as that criteria for RDC eligibility is met. So we're going to continue to confirm that the project does fall within the scope of permitted uses for RDC funds, per that statutory framework, for these public, improvements. So as you know, we went through a recent, update to our comprehensive plan. As part of our comprehensive plan, in our infrastructure and amenity and pedestrian safety, goals, this does meet that goal as well. So it's definitely a project that we do want to share with you. We want to provide this information so then that way, when we are ready to make a decision, we'll be able to bring that back to the board. Because this particular project is eligible for what we call 80% reimbursable grant through NDOT. So we have just completed paperwork for this to be submitted through our NPO, our Madison County Council of Governments that we work through that gets funds through NDOT, where this particular trail system could be funded at 80%. That would leave us at 20% to be able to not only make this improvement, but then also to be able to cover the cost for the acquisition of the land that we would need to be able to acquire to put this trail through our town here. So, for this particular project, the grant documents are getting submitted here in the next coming weeks. We should know sometime in the month of April, May at the latest, if we are awarded those grant dollars. And at that time, we then would work with Reedy Financial to inquire about feasibility. We also too will be looking at that annual spending plan that we approved and adopted last year for the 2026 year. If we would need to amend that, subject to how much funding that we would get through this grant to cover the costs for acquisition. So that being said, I kind of wanted to show you here, Stephanie, if you want to go ahead and pull up the next attachment here, or you can pull up the trail alignment number 1. Again, there are three parcels here. So this particular parcel here connects in here at State Road 67 and then runs through first. Oh, sorry, that's okay. Actually, if you want to go ahead and go to the second one, it might give a lot more closer view. And you kind of click around it, it should expand. Okay, so sorry. Trying to scroll down here a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So here's 67 here. This is parcel 1. This is undeveloped land, just kind of give you orientated. This is the parking lot and Pizza Hut that sits right in here. This particular trail is a 10-foot asphalt trail, but looking at in this particular area here, it was identified to be appropriate to acquire this parcel just because of the fact that this here is heavily condensed with wetlands and undevelopable land, where this trail would then come across here in parcel 2. Parcel 1, parcel 2 are owned by Chesterfield Management, same owners. And then it would tie into and connect in onto the west side here. That trail would run across the edge of Hayden Way. This particular area was deemed to be a 50-foot right-of-way. Then it would narrow out to be a 20-foot right-of-way here to be able to provide that connectivity. As you all know, Water Street is our main area for community engagement, involvement. Our students utilize our public library that sits on Water Street. We also have our Brown Pool, as well as our Barnhart Field and our park system that's right here in this area. We also do not have safe sidewalks that eventually, once 67 is improved, we'll have sidewalks that come from the high school back up here to the south, all the way down, and then it'll allow them to be able to have a safe connection then into the downtown area in the park system. But for this particular project, we are looking at, for parcels 1 and parcels 2, there's about 2.24 acres combined. for that. Needing about 2/3 of an acre, for the acquisition, about, 0.61 of an acre. The total full appraisal for those, two parcels are a little bit over 400,000. As far as the piece that needed for acquisition, values in a little bit over 144,000. And then our parcel 3 here, right off of Water Street, that particular parcel, and two, I want to note too, there's not a structure, that would be in conflict, with this particular, project. But this particular, parcel, it is a little bit under 1.5 acres, needing about 1/3 of an acre, for the acquisition. The value of that is a little bit over 200,000, and needing for the acquisition is right under 35,000. So all in all, it's about $179,000 in land acquisition. Note, we are hopeful that we will be able to be awarded that 80%. That brings it down to about 36,000 of what cost the town would be looking at for their 20% compensation or their contribution. So hopefully here in the next month or two, we'll find out exactly where we stand with this particular project. And then that way we can be able to have that information, to be able to bring back to the board here, and we can make a, informed decision on, if that's something that is appropriate for RDC dollars. We want to make sure that it does meet that criteria. But what we are seeing now, we do believe that it is going to be a benefit to the redevelopment area, and our community as a whole. So at this point, I just wanted to bring this project to your attention. Once we find this out, as you know, appraisals are a little time sensitive. So, with cost of land value going up, it's something that the town, if we do have the means, we would like to be able to, make a decision and be able to have those conversations with those property owners, to be able to see if we can make this project come to fruition and a reality. That being said, if you have any questions for me or at this time, I'm more than happy to answer it. I know Scott and Dan's on, here as well.
Looking at the map.
Yes.
So the trail would be off 67, and just past Pizza Hut to
That
Water
is-
Street.
That is
Right.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you go back to the aerial photo?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so here's my question.
Yeah.
So we know how busy 67 is.
Yeah.
So I get the connection if you're over from Pizza Hut to Water Street, that's nice.
Yeah.
But if you're coming off Water Street to Pizza Hut, there is no availability for pedestrians without having a safety issue coming off that way. So I'm trying to understand, why do we need a pathway there?
So that would be to kind of give them a safe, direct access to Water Street.
From
avoiding-
where though? Where would they be
Oh, it
coming?
would be coming from like the high school. It'd
But
be-
where are they gonna be walking from the high school? There's no
with
Part of
their,
the project
Will
is
be-
to put trails,
Yes.
sidewalks.
Sidewalks.
yes, 67, when they improve 67, yes, they will.
Did I miss that comment?
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
missed that.
There will be sidewalks a part of that
Okay.
project. So this trail system will connect into that sidewalk that will come on up here too.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
sorry about that. Yeah, sorry if I didn't pick it up.
Well, and to piggyback off of Steve then, so if there are sidewalks on both sides, then there is a plan for a pedestrian crossing across
Yes,
67 to
Yes.
get to Hayden Way.
they're all down at, State Street, State Road 38. There will be, crosswalks, beacon crosswalks, there, as well as then, there at State Road 38. So,
And
yes.
also these high school parking, there'll be a hop signal there, it'll be on like it's a pedestrian railroad crossing, right, flashing beacons.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The only
I was
question,
gonna add something.
go ahead, I won't forget.
So, maybe this, So we could have asked for trail up here and then here, right? And because this is it's a pool, it's a library. Well, you know what the kids are gonna do? They're gonna go along the sidewalk and go behind through the parking lot at Dairy Queen, hit Hayden, come out this way, or just start cutting their own trail here. This is also a legal drain, so this is not buildable property. Legal drain goes along here, and then I think it deviates off to here. And connects here. The reason it's wet is because this is not working right, and part of the correction for that is gonna be, NDOT's gonna do that. They know they're dumping NDOT water onto Pendleton, into Pendleton's legal drain, so that gets corrected. So this will dry up. It won't be as hazardous as it is now. Walking now, you may never be found again. But, that was how this whole idea got started, was the fact that Water Street and 67 was one of our only two failing intersections, and we were gonna funnel kids up to a failing intersection. It just didn't pass the sanity check. And so that's the whole idea behind it. That's the whole idea behind.
So.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Bruce?
Well, so I was just curious, so Hayden Road makes that U there, right?
Yes.
It's called the Pony Farm over there on the, west side of it. Does this isn't interfering with that road, it's going alongside
It's
of?
alongside, that is
And you
correct.
said that's 20 foot
20-foot right away off of Hayden Way.
right away. 20
Yes,
foot right away.
just, yeah.
Okay,
right.
so the path itself is 10 foot? roughly?
That- Yes,
Right.
And if we want to improve Hayden, we'll leave enough space between the path.
yeah, it does leave enough room to widen Hayden if it needs to be improved.
Yeah, you got room.
Yeah.
I think that's real good, piece of that. Like it.
And there's a utility easement that kind of runs along that Hayden Way on that property as well, but
So my question kind of tied in as the future, NDOT coming in and widen that road from Water Street up. My question or concern would be, when we put a sidewalk in and then they come in and tear up our sidewalk. So we've already kind of thought that through from the engineering side of it.
The part, so when NDOT comes through the jurisdiction like a city town, where you can see this is Fortville, the drag.
When they did all that through there,
67.
sure.
The lights are part of an enhancement. The sidewalks, the rebuilding were enhancements. And so when a state road is being improved through a city or town, they give the locals the opportunity to add to it, like trails. And this, and we're,
So this sidewalk will be part of their NDOT thing.
this will be
Sure.
part of the trail. All we have to do is put in 20%.
Yeah.
So the medium will have grass in it and not just be concrete. It will have the trails and sidewalks, will have lighting. And the trail will start at Angle Road.
Sure.
Come down in front of the high school. There'll be enhanced crossing, either if you want to go to the other side of 67 or cross State Road 38. And because the big concern of the kids crossing to Wendy's and the convenience store back to the Speedway, we're gonna have a pedestrian crossing coming off the parking lot. Right? There'll be a raised median halfway, so the kids that are crossing State Street, or sorry, 67, there'll be a raised median. They call it a sanctuary in case you can't get across all the way in time, at least you stop there and you're protected. I think I listed everything. The lighting, will improve the lighting, so
Sure.
it's not ugly NDOT lighting, it's lighting like what we have along
Sure.
the street.
I've seen the NDOT drawings through that extension through
Right.
there.
Right.
And Dave, yes, for the timing of this, right now, it's just we're at the phase of the right-of-way acquisition, but the same engineer is working on both projects. So they'll be in sync as far as the alignment of their sidewalk and roadway improvements, as well as how it ties into this trail
The
project.
reason why I asked, like in Anderson on Scottersville, they make the developers rip sidewalks in, so they're sporadic. And then there's no guarantee NDOT will come in and tear out that sidewalk. You spend $40,000 on a sidewalk. And then there's no guarantee it's ever gonna be connected all the way through those other businesses.
Yeah.
I hate to put a sidewalk in and tore up as a part of the NDOT plan already and
This will be in the NDOT.
like,
So
sure,
if they tear it up, they gotta.
put it back, sure.
But it's all one
It'll
cohesive
be-
project, is how that it was.
That all ties in well, it'll be a really nice aesthetic looking type of thing when we get done then with the lights and sidewalk and all that.
And we have had to do a little bit of a catch up because NDOT fully confessed, they forgot to tell us they were gonna do this project. And so we got informed a year later. And so we've been on this now internally. Always 6 years. before any of us were here.
Yeah.
It was a scramble on our part to catch up.
What they supposed to do it a couple of years ago originally?
Yeah, then they
Yeah,
delayed the
back a little
construction,
bit.
was supposed to be happening right now. And then because of cuts, and once you move it back, they plan 5 years ahead. So if you get cut, you usually get cut back 5 years, and that's exactly what. You're good at dates, what's the construction?
29, yeah,
29,
yeah, yeah,
Start date.
yeah.
Start
in
date.
between.
So there's not a crossing, on down at this intersection. If you're on, I don't know what side of the road that is, over like where the car wash is. You have to cross back by the school and get on that side and then go down to this. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct. Yes, so eventually it will connect into the trail that runs kind of north and south.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a silly question. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
a reasonable answer, but as they're crossing the entrance and exit to Taco Bell and all those places down through there with that sidewalk, what's the caution for people coming in and out there and kids going across? that area?
Whether, because the median, this is in, the median will be raised.
Mhm.
And there won't be, so half the traffic that would turn left and cross traffic again, they won't be there, so the only traffic that will have. You're right here is traffic coming
From the
south, right hand turn.
Yeah, okay, I got it, yeah. That,
Yeah, the safety in this
Make a
area
big
will be
difference.
greatly improved.
yeah,
The business owners rightfully so are concerned about that raised median, but that's NDOT's policy statewide now. You gotta-
well, there's a lot of traffic down there, and that is a problem, for sure.
Any other questions, or anything?
It probably prevents
No.
wrecks,
I'm sorry,
accidents.
yes,
Highest accident rate was at that intersection right there on
Second
67.
I think
highest
that's
in
the
the
highest.
Yeah.
between 36.
Yep, it'll help with that.
Like
So-
Scatterfield, you're Scatterfield.
Yeah,
So we'll continue to work with Dinsmore on this, and we'll plan on bringing it back. If we don't have the award determination, know what kind of funding we're looking at here in April, we should hear and know by May. Put it back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise. Okay, now we'll open it up to public comments. Do we have any public comments online? Anybody online?
Just Ann.
Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, then we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:03.